Hi guys. So today we are going to do a garden flag, and we're going to do adhesive vinyl, and I'm going to show you how to use a garden flag as a door hanger instead of hanging it in your yard or your garden or whatnot. So just another way to use it. So I've got my supplies. I've got my garden flag. I have my adhesive vinyl, which is already cut. I have a rod and some string and a way to attach it to the door, and then my weeding tools. So, and a heat glue gun, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use that for. So we're just going to set these over, and we're also going to use a ruler. I'll grab that in a minute. This is a garden flag from 651vinyl.com. I will drop a link down below in the comments of where you can get this. And what's really unique about these flags are they are for adhesive vinyl. So you don't need to have a heat press, you don't need to have an iron. Adhesive vinyl is so much cheaper than heat transfer vinyl. You can get it for less than $1 for a square foot. And the little area that I used here was about 12 inches by 7.5 inches. You can see the whole area that I cut. So it uses a little more than half a sheet of adhesive vinyl. So you're spending less than 50 cents to decorate the flag. So it's not an expensive project at all. So you can get these for all of the holidays, whatever season you want, and just change these out. You can have one on your door, have one in a potted plant, have one by your front yard, whatever you want to do. So I went ahead and cut my vinyl and would have weeded it, but I love showing off these awesome tools. And I had a really sticky mat, so it curled a little bit when I pulled it off. So let's just weigh that down a little bit. And this is, I can't remember if this is the soft orange or the light orange or the pastel orange and then white. But this is my tweezers from 651 Vinyl. I don't know if you can see that there. But we are going to weed this. And so I use Silhouette Studio to cut, and what I did to make the weeding easy is I drew a box around my design, and then I just used the draw a line tool, and I drew lines throughout my design so that when I weed it, I'm weeding just small areas at a time instead of trying to fight with a big huge piece of vinyl. So I just drew these little lines throughout my project wherever I wanted them so that I can weed in pieces. And I am layering here, so I do have some registration boxes. Again, we're just weeding, and I'm going to use my weeding ring here in a minute. I'll show you that. Just getting the big pieces out of the way. Again, I just drew these lines. There's in Silhouette, there's just a line tool that you can use. Did not cut around my W very well. And I just drew those lines wherever I wanted it to cut, just to make that weeding a little bit easier. And you can see, just makes it super easy to weed around. This is really good when you've got really intricate stuff you're weeding too. I really like it for script, like to create a box around each word when I'm doing script, because you know it goes in and out and you've got those counters sometimes. And I believe that Cricut offers just a line, draw a line tool as well. No special function or anything that's required to do that. Same with my registration boxes. I just draw rectangles. There's nothing special. There's no special box that I'm checking or anything. So this is the weeding ring. This is also from 651 Vinyl. And this just gives me a place to stick these little pieces here. You can just stick them right in there. And I love it because you stick it in there and then I just slide my tweezers and it kind of wipes it right off the tweezer. So you have somewhere to put those little pieces. Again, this is a project with pretty big pieces, so it's not an issue, but it definitely keeps your space clean. You don't have them getting everywhere. And once you have all that out, it's super easy because this just opens up and you just pull your pieces out and clean it out. So super easy. So there's one. And then we have this piece as well. So again, I'm making a little door hanger here. And the flag that I have is kind of like a chalkboard look, like a back to school chalkboard. So I wanted to go with something that was kind of school oriented. My daughter, her university, on Wednesdays they wear orange and it's got her logo. So I'm going to cut this out and we're going to layer this. But we're going to put it on the flag here. We're going to grab our scissors. Again, I'm just going to cut this out here. I'm not going to cut it all the way out because I did set up my spacing when I designed this, and so by leaving this here, I can still get my spacing right when I go to place it. So if you've watched any of my videos, you see I've done quite a bit of this layering. I do have another video where I go into how I create these boxes and I do multiple layers and how to use these for projects that aren't actually layered on top, but are more of a slice or a knockout kind of method. So we've got our app tape. This is the medium tack transfer tape from 651 Vinyl. My absolute most favorite transfer tape. So we'll see here. Just going to cut off a piece. I'm just going to cut a straight piece here. And you can save this. Like if I get a piece, cut off a piece that's too big, I'll actually stick it back on the roll so I can use it later. So the orange is going to be our top layer and the white is the bottom layer. So I want to apply the orange to my app tape first. And this is also from 651 Vinyl. They have a lot of matching tools. I believe the weeding ring also comes in the mint. But I'm going to lay this down here. I'm just going to squeegee it really good. Get it on there. And then peel this off the backing. And then I'm going to put my backing back onto my letters. But I'm leaving these registration boxes open. And then I'm going to lay this on top and line up those boxes. And you can see I kind of left this tail here. So you see this tail, I'm gonna kind of stick that to my surface here so that this doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to peel this back, and this is why you want to make sure you've rubbed that backing on there really good. And you kind of want to work from one end to the other because this helps prevent the bubbles from getting between your layers of vinyl. If you just kind of take it from above and stick it on there, you risk getting air bubbles trapped between your layers of vinyl. So we're just going to peel that right off. There we go. So now we have our offset around our logo. And then I'm just going to trim this down. Okay. And then we're going to apply our app tape to this. Hold on to this extra piece. I might need it for something. So I'm trying to figure out how wide of a piece I need here. Cut it off. Again, this is my most favorite app tape in the whole entire world. Never want to be without. And we curled a little bit, but I'll lay this down. And squeeze this out. Oh, I missed a little spot right there because I didn't gauge it very well. So I'm just going to take a piece of this right here, overlap it right there. This is just on here for a minute, so it doesn't really matter. So let's figure out where exactly we want this on here. So I can kind of tack it down a little bit with that open bit. I have my most favorite ruler ever. This is the lip edge ruler. I think it's made for quilting, but it's see-through and it's got these lines everywhere. But this flag has these points here, so it really helps me figure out my center line. So I kind of want my center to run right through the on and right through orange in the middle. And then I kind of want to make sure that the bottom of orange is lined up here. So if I line the bottom of this up, and then you can see that we're not exactly, let's see here. If I line that up, we're almost but not quite straight. So I'm lining up this bottom lip right here, and then I want to make sure that my word orange is lined up as well. Put that 13 right there. Kind of play with it here. If we're good. Let's see how that looks. And looks pretty good. You can probably see better than I can if it's centered or not. And so I'm going to use this kind of as my hinge. If you watch my videos, you see I do the hinge method a lot. I'm going to make sure this on here really good. I'm going to pull this back here. And I'm just going to cut this off. And then again, to avoid those bubbles, you just want to work it down. You don't want to just slap it flat down. If you just stick it down straight onto the flag, you're going to risk those air bubbles. We're just going to work it down that way. Okay. Make sure we're on here real good. Same thing. I'm going to pull this back. Magnet stuck to my knife with my scissors. Just gonna cut that. But leaving that allowed me to keep that space where I wanted it. Again, we're gonna work our way up to avoid those air bubbles. And I'm not really pushing down right now, just getting it on there. And then we can work it down onto the flag. All right. And then again, when you remove your app tape, don't pull it straight up. You want to fold it back flat against your item. Just work it off. And that looks really cool. You can actually see the texture of the flag through the vinyl. That's really neat. It looks like it's printed on there. And so next we're going to put this on here. So I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do for this, again, make sure this is on here really good, is I'm going to fold back part of this. And I'm going to give myself kind of a lit area to work with. And I'm just going to cut this off. This just gives me something to tack it down with. So I'm going to get it right here. I'm just eyeballing it. I do that a lot. So I'm just going to tack it down right there. Fold it over. And then again, work my way across here, just to avoid any bubbles. Again, this is so convenient. I didn't have to heat up my heat press. Didn't have to spend the money for heat transfer vinyl. I think it's so much easier to keep all the colors of adhesive vinyl in stock than it is to keep all the colors of heat transfer vinyl in stock. So it's real easy to whip something out for any holiday. And then we're going to make a door hanger. So I'm going to turn on my heat gun. This is my hot glue gun. And it's a Black & Decker. Got some glue in there. I'm just going to turn that on, let that heat up. Heats up pretty fast. I'm just going to go through here and make sure we're on there really good. Just being real careful. But I mean, it's on there. I don't think it's going anywhere. It does. It looks like it was just printed on there. That's really awesome. So again, this is a yard flag, so it's kind of made to go on a stand that's going to stand by your mailbox or in your garden, or you could put it in a big potted plant outside. A lot of different uses for that. Put it out by the pool. But I want this to be a door hanger, and because of that, I have a little dowel. You can buy craft dowels at the craft store. You can buy them at the hardware store, anything like that. And so I've cut this one down so it sticks out just a little bit on either side of my flag. As you can see, it sticks out just a little bit on either side. And then I just have some twine. You could use butcher's twine, you could use ribbon, you could use anything that you wanted. It doesn't matter. I just kind of used what I had on hand. I didn't want to go out and buy something, so I might get something prettier later, maybe some orange polka dot ribbon or something. But I didn't really have a whole lot on hand for this, which is my own fault. But this is just some twine. Track down some cute orange ribbon or something. So what I'm going to do is flip this around, as I'm going to tie a little knot on one side. And again, this is not anything fancy or anything pretty, just to show that it doesn't have to be. And you can always pretty it up later, which is what I'll probably do. So I'm just going to tie a little knot right there. I'm going to figure out how long I want this to be. Probably about like that, and then tie another knot. And I know y'all are judging me for my knots here, but bear with me. I had everything planned out except for how am I going to hang it on my door. So it worked with what I have. You don't always have to go buy fancy stuff. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut this off. And what I'm going to do, the reason I have the hot glue gun is because I do have a covered porch, so it's not going to go anywhere. But I don't want, with the door opening and closing, I don't want it banging around. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take my hot glue here, and I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue. And what that's also going to do, if you've ever used hot glue, which I think everybody has, is it kind of makes like a rubber finish to it. It's also going to add almost like a little rubber door stop to it, so that as it bangs on the door, it's not going to scratch it up. So it's going to do a kind of a two-bit. It's going to hold my string in place and protect my door. So that'll cool off pretty quick. You see how fast that heats up? I love that. So let's turn that off. Let that cool down. We're dripping. And that just uses regular hot glue sticks. Nothing fancy. But I do love it's cordless, so I'm not attached to the wall. I can carry it around the house to do projects with. And the battery lasts at least 30 minutes, maybe longer if it's fully charged. So I love it, and it's not super heavy. So let's let that cool. So our hot glue has dried and we're ready to go on the door. Before I take it downstairs and stick it on the door, just to recap, this is a yard flag from 651 Vinyl. It is made to use with adhesive vinyl, which is a huge cost savings to you. You don't have to buy heat transfer vinyl, which costs significantly more. So it's a lot easier to keep all your different colors on hand that you need. So we used Oracal 651 on the flag. I just used a little dowel rod and some twine at the top. We used our weeding tool and our scraper from 651 Vinyl. I'm going to drop the links to everything that I used down in the description. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you'd click on the subscribe button. Come check out my other videos. And again, if you have questions, just let me know. Thanks, guys.